Hey guys, it's Jena. Welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, I'm going to be counting down the top 10 blushes according to you guys. So I actually polled you on Instagram as well as on my YouTube community tab, and I asked you guys what was the one blush that if you could only use one for the rest of your life, what would it be? And that's kind of like my way of finding out what is your absolute holy grail blush, because I want to know about it too. I got a lot of very interesting answers. Some blushes I definitely predicted, and the other ones I didn't. So let's get right on into the top 10 blushes according to you guys. The first blush we're going to be talking about is by far one of the most popular answers. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blushes, and I actually have the very particular blush that you guys love in this palette. This is the Sculpture palette from last holiday. And the blush that you guys are actually obsessed with is this one. So it does come in a single as well, but I just don't personally own it. But this is Mood Exposure, and this is a really beautiful, soft plum blush. It's so gorgeous. The purple doesn't really come out too much. It's more of like a purpley nude, but the nude is so stunning. It almost translates more on a softer pink side of things. So don't let the color fool you. It does look sort of like, whoa, is this gonna be purple blush? But no, it's actually very flattering for many skin tones actually. And I can totally see why you guys would rank the Hourglass formulation very high. So you can see here all zoomed in that Mood Exposure is right here on the bottom corner, and this is one that you can definitely get separately, but I really love the gradient effect of these blushes from Hourglass. We do have some other ones in this palette, well this one actually, and then this one's a bronzer, but the blushes in particular have a soft hue to them. Like they're very lifelike in my opinion. They don't look like makeup on the skin. They just have that gorgeous flush quality about them. I think that's why you guys are just obsessed with them, because they just make your cheeks like amplified with a soft flush. They don't make them look very made up. So I can absolutely agree that the Hourglass formulation is fantastic. When you apply the Hourglass blushes, they're actually very easy to work with as well, which is why I think a lot of us really love them. So they're not super pigmented on the brush. They're just that perfect amount of powder that you can absolutely control it. And if you do have a little bit on your cheek, you can sort of blend it out and just let it sink into the skin and look like its gorgeous self really effortlessly. You don't need a ton of skill. So that's why I totally agree. Mood Exposure is a fantastic shade, very flattering. I'll show you in the swatch here as well. It is fabulous. I love using this myself. This is definitely a top 10 blush from you guys, and rightfully so. I fully agree. This next blush is a blush that I definitely thought was going to make the countdown. It was one of the ones that I was like, if I don't see this blush, I'll be pretty surprised. This is the Nars Orgasm blush, and this has been around since forever, I feel like. When I was brand new into makeup and in my teenage years, I'm not saying I'm super old, but you know, it's been a little while. This was the rage back in the day. Like this was the blush to get. It was Laguna Bronzer and this blush, which is Orgasm. Now they have since really increased Orgasm quite a bit. They've done whole collections around it. They've done Orgasm X, which is a new shade as well, but this is a really pigmented product. So unlike the Hourglass one, this is one you have to be careful with when you actually apply it with a brush. You will pick up pigment very quickly and a lot. So just so you guys know, this is a fantastic color though, so I'm not surprised this has made the countdown. I'm not sure if the camera's gonna pick it up, but the swatch definitely will. This is a gorgeous peachy pink with a subtle golden shimmer. So it's absolutely stunning. It's not going to look like a highlight. The shimmer is not that intense, but it's enough to draw some really beautiful subtle light to the cheek. And this is one that, like I said, it's been best selling from Sephora for years now. Nars Orgasm is sort of like Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk or Pat McGrath's Divine Rose. It is one of their best-selling shades, products, so it makes a lot of sense why they would absolutely increase the lines around this product. This is the second blush that you guys absolutely love. This is another one that I predicted so much. When I saw your guys' responses coming in, I was like, yes, of course. This is another very, very popular blush. This is also best-selling at Sephora, and rightfully so. These are the Amazonian clay blushes from Tarte. The shade that I have here is Exposed. Exposed was a very popular shade in your comments, as well as Party. Both of them are beautiful, everyday nude colors of blush. And this is one that's definitely on the cooler side of things. It is absolutely stunning, and the Tarte formula, just like the Nars formula, is very, very popular, best-selling at Sephora for years now. The best thing about the Tarte blushes is the user-friendliness of this formulation. These basically blend themselves, and I've been obsessed with this formulation as well. The Exposed shade here is basically a perfect shade for every day. It goes with every makeup look, whether you have a bold eye or just a plain eye, you know, if you just want blush and like a beautiful glowy skin day, this will do everything for you and more. So the fact that it's so easy to put on is definitely a selling point. You really don't need a ton of skill for this to look beautiful, and these also have a really nice pigmentation behind them, but they're not like Nars where you can have that heavy pigmentation on the brush really quickly. Just make sure you don't go super crazy, because it's not like they're sheer or anything. They do have significant pigment behind them. But this is the third blush that you guys absolutely love. These, by the way, are in no particular order. These are all just evenly ranked among you guys as the top 10 best ever. Let's talk about the next one. These are the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blushes. Again, not surprised to see these in the countdown because these are so beautiful. These are otherwise known as the boob blushes. Yes, you heard that right. And rightfully so. I mean, take a look. It does look very similar to that particular part of our bodies, which makes me laugh. But this is the shade Ecstasy, which is a beautiful peachy pink, and it also has a really gorgeous pop of pink there in the center. So the way that Charlotte wants you to wear these essentially is to start your blush with the outer ring shade, and then you can pop. So right at like the cheekbone or right at the, you know, most prominent part of your cheek, you can pop with the center shade if you would like. So that's basically kind of the whole gist of this, but a lot of people just mix the shades together for this perfect like hybrid color between them that is gorgeous. I am guilty of mixing the two together because to me it's just a little easier, but both ways are absolutely stunning on the skin. This sort of has a really gorgeous like satin finish. You can see it also has a subtle shimmer. It's not as potent of a shimmer as the Nars Orgasm shade because that golden shimmer is definitely more of a shimmer presence. This is one that's actually molded into the pigment. So it is much more natural-like when it comes to the shine, and this is also a beautiful shade from Charlotte. I think the second choice for these blushes was Pillow Talk. That was another gorgeous shade from this Cheek to Chic collection, but this is one, it's foolproof. It's basically a perfect addition to Charlotte Tilbury's like glowy makeup line because this is a very glowy blush. I don't think it gets talked about too much, but it's definitely one that's worth checking out. This is actually a blush I was super excited to see in the countdown from you guys. I was like, wow, this is actually really popular amongst my subscribers, and that's great because I picked one up recently and I've been loving it too. This is the Melt Cosmetics Blushlight, and this is in the shade Golden Hour. Now, the packaging is definitely very Melt Cosmetics. It's very simple. It's classic, not super showy or anything, and it's definitely a plastic that has a little bit of a matte finish. Look at the peachiness of this color. It's very, very evident. In my opinion, this is more of a blush for summer just because it's got that really nice warmth of, I don't know, like beachy vibes to me. On the pool side, it's just like, it's definitely a blush that's for summer. That's just my opinion on that. But this is one that is definitely something to consider when it comes to application. Be very careful. This is extremely pigmented. You can do brush application, you can do fingertip application, you can do sponge application, but just make sure you're going very, very light-handed because this is one that will pick up pigment very quickly. You can sort of see how it's all zoomed in here. It shows like the swipes of my finger as I've been swatching it and working with it, but this is definitely a gorgeous product. So I absolutely agree with you guys that this is a gorgeous formulation. It's a gorgeous shade. There's other shades in this line as well if you prefer cream blushes, but this is probably like, I'm trying to think, it's got to be the best Milk Cosmetics product so far that I love. I feel like they do put out a significant amount of product, but this is by far the showstopper so far. This is another great blush choice. Now this is a blush that I had to go out and buy because I did not have in my collection, and you guys rave about this one, so I really can't wait to try it. This is the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Duo. There we go. It is a big long name. This is very fingerprinty packaging. Can you guys see, like, look at all of my fingerprints as I've been touching this. It sort of looks dirty now. Oh, apologies. It doesn't look the nicest, but same reflective rose gold packaging in Patrick Ta's makeup line. And this one is a duo product. So you do have the cream on the top, you have the powder on the bottom, and I would say this is actually much more of a bronzy blush. I'm actually really excited to try this. I really hope that it works out for me because you guys seem to just absolutely rave about it. When I was swatching this as well, it is very pigment heavy. So my guess is that I'm gonna have to go a bit light-handed with this one, but do let me know your thoughts down below. Is that something that you recommend? And when it comes to the cream product, it's separated by a window. So I'll hopefully try to show you on camera. Do you see what I mean here? There's a little window to keep the powder from getting into the cream, which I do really, really like. So that is very smart packaging wise on his side of things, but this is also a gorgeous blush color on the top here. Very smooth when you swatch it, absolutely stunning. So I can't wait to test this one out, but this is also one of your favorite blushes. And this is one that I found a little surprising actually, because I haven't really heard about the Patrick Ta blushes that often. This is a formulation that I just discovered in the last year, also thanks to you guys. So whenever I read your comments about recommendations for me, I love reading them and I love taking them seriously and just buying stuff that you guys like because often I really love them too. So this is one that I really love, and I had a bit of a journey with this one, as you know, but this is the MAC Glow Play Blush, and I picked up the shade here in So Natural because So Natural is your favorite shade in this line. So when I started with this line, I actually picked up Cheeky Devil, I think was the shade that I had, and it was a really beautiful, like bright pink, and the pigment on this was horrible. Like it was basically non-existent. This is also kind of like a cream to powder situation. It's a very unique formula, but this like Cheeky Devil shade was just such a fail. And I replied back to you guys like, what are you talking about? This is not a good blush. But then a lot of you guys said, listen, that's the only ridiculously weak shade in this line. I promise, try another one. And I did. So I love this now. I think it's very shade specific. Please don't pick up Cheeky Devil because it's just a dud for whatever reason. But this shade here, it's called So Natural for a reason. This is a beautiful everyday, kind of peachy, light beige color, super, super pretty. And this is one that I think I would absolutely recommend to you guys for a shade to pick up in this line. I also really like the shade Blush Please. That is a great one as well. Very interesting to see this in the countdown because every time I see MAC makeup come up, I'm also reminded that MAC was at one point very, very popular, and I think it's starting to get a bit of a resurgence. I'm not sure, but I don't always hear about MAC, so it's kind of like a nice surprise to hear about a recommendation from their line. But these blushes, you guys, are beautiful. Next, we have a ton of fans recommending this blush from Pat McGrath. This is actually one of her latest launches, a few launches back now, but in the last year or so, she released her blushes. This is the shade Nude Venus. And Nude Venus is a gorgeous shade, so I definitely agree this is up there for sure when it comes to some of the best blushes ever made. This is one that is sort of similar to Orgasm a little bit. It doesn't have that golden shimmer behind it, but it does have a very similar peachy pink color. Now this also has a gorgeous rose embossment in the powder. I think it's so pretty, but it's interesting how there's been some mixed reviews on the packaging of these. So some people say it's kind of cheaper. I sort of see what you're saying. I think she really could have made these a little bit weightier in hand because she is capable of very luxe packaging, but I don't necessarily think this is a dud packaging wise either. I think that it just does its purpose. Could it be better? Yeah, but it's not a dud either. This to me is a gorgeous blush for any season. I just love how this color is so universal basically from spring, summer, fall, winter. You can wear it with any look. And I just love how this is such a beautiful shade for so many skin tones as well. Pat McGrath does a good job of having multiple options for blush. There are quite a few shades in this line. And when it comes to how they apply, very, very beautiful. I will say some of them can be a little stiffer when it comes to blending, but I wouldn't say that it's a deal breaker by any means. This is definitely a beautiful line from Pat McGrath, and I agree with you guys. Gorgeous blushes are offered in this line. This next blush is one that I had to go out and buy because I was like, wow, there is such a response for this blush. I was so surprised. Now, I haven't tried a ton from this line yet, so it gave me an opportunity to pick out some more products that I really wanted to try as well, besides this one. But this is the M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow Radiant Veil Blush. This, you guys, is massive. It is so big. I was surprised to see that. I thought it was going to be a lot smaller. There is 8 grams actually, and the packaging is it's not super weighty, but it's enough. Like it's definitely got some oomph behind it. Like it's very, very well made, and it's sort of like a baked product. Can you see it also is kind of like a cylinder there? It's popping out of the pan like that. And it's so pretty. There's lots of different dimension to it. It sort of reminds me of the Hourglass blushes that have like that light reflecting particles in it. This is one that has a very similar vibe. So very interesting. I'm very excited to test this. This is the shade Venetian Rose. So many of you guys really recommended this brand and especially this blush color, so I had to have it because I know that whenever you guys are obsessed with something, I am most likely going to be obsessed too. And like I said, it gave me the opportunity to add some lip products. I think I also added the liquid blush, so I'm really excited to give the M Cosmetics line a real try. If you don't know, M Cosmetics was actually started by Michelle Phan, who is a OG YouTuber in the beauty space, someone I used to watch so much. So it's very, very exciting to see her with her own brand and with a blush that you guys rave about. This is also a very beautiful color when swatched, so I'm super excited to test it. We are down to the last blush in the top 10 countdown, and I was also a little bit surprised to hear about this one because this one sort of peaked when it came to trendiness a couple of years ago, and then I hadn't really heard about them again from you guys. I thought maybe we were kind of just done with them or moved on, but no, a lot of you guys really love these too. This is the Wanderlust Primer-Infused blushes from Buxom, and this is so, so pretty. I don't typically have a ton from Buxom. The makeup line as a whole, I just don't have too many things from, but this was also based on a recommendation from you guys a few years ago. And I was very excited to try these, and now it is also a favorite formulation of mine as well. This is actually the shade Seychelles. It is a very, very popular shade, and it's interesting because when you actually look this up on Sephora, it looks way more bronze and way more brown based on their image, but it's actually very cool toned pink, so don't get it twisted. When you get this, based on that picture, you'll probably be pretty shocked at what it actually is, but this is a beautiful shade for every day. Super, super gorgeous on the skin, very easy to apply as well, and this is one that is a pleasant surprise for sure. I really didn't have this blush on my radar, and then when you guys recommended it to me, I just had to have it. This blush just gives the skin just like a beautiful flush, little bit of a glow, just such stunning shades as well in this line. This is definitely a line that I was super excited to see because I'm not bored of it. I know that a lot of people may be, but you guys don't seem to be either. So I was like, yes, this is such a good blush. You guys think so too, and this is the 10th blush in our countdown. What do you guys think of all the blushes in this countdown? Do let me know your favorite as well. Also, what do you think should be the next episode of this According to My Subscribers series? This series was created by the beautiful Allie Glines, who is a friend of mine, and she created a gem of a video idea because I've been loving getting to know all of your favorite products. I also did bronzers and eyeshadow palettes already, so I will link those videos in the description box for you to watch next. And until my next one, guys, take care and stay safe. Bye, guys.